All right.
We love.
Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, before we begin, we're going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, great millstone. Shalom, Barakim to you brothers and sisters out there. Right, as you can see, the title on the screen is One Body, One Mind, and One Goal. And we're basically going to, tap into the subject or the topic of how we're all basically all the those that are in this truth, all the men of the Lord, were working together for one goal, which is ultimately to receive the kingdom of heaven, to be delivered, from the destruction at hand, to be joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. And then within that body, we have different offices. Not every man has the same portion or a gift or anything like that. It varies, but everybody plays a role, and as long as everybody's playing their role, they're a vital part of the team. Right? We don't always need the big man down low to shoot threes. We need him to post up. The point guard, he's supposed to pass. The shooting guard, he's supposed to be locked down defender. Everybody has their own thing. So you need to make sure that, well, like Apostle Ariamla made a video a while back, maybe like a year or so ago, basically going into coming into your lot or coming into your own, because he was talking about how, for a while you may copy or mimic somebody in the truth, but eventually you develop an understanding on who you are and what your role is in this thing. Do you have something that you want to get first?
Yeah, I got this in Ephesians. Ephesians 4, going from 1 to 6. It says, I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you, that you walk worthy of the vocation wherein you are called. And that word vocation I got written down, it says divine invitation to embrace salvation of the Most High. So this is a special calling that we've been called into, man. And not just yourself, but there's many other brothers with that with the same vocation, the same calling, and like-minded brothers out there that has been called into this thing. It says with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love. So when you come into this thing, man, you can't be prideful. You can't think that you over another brother. You're trying to which of course there is a ranking system, but you can't walk around being prideful, because the Lord can take you out for that, man. Prideful, proud as hell. You think that you can't be told anything, and we just got to remain humble, man. It says forbearing one another in love, endeavoring. That word endeavoring going to give diligence, to keep the unity of the spirit and the bond of peace. There is one body and one spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one power and Father of all, who is above all and through all, and in you also. Yahweh yourselves within us, man. As long as we continue to endure, Yahweh we be part of the elect. There's one faith, man. There is no two faith. There is no like the scriptures always say. There's no private interpretation of the scriptures, man. There's only one interpretation, one body, one member. You got one body, but then within the body, you got many. You got the fingers, you got the eyes, you got the nose, and so on and so forth, man. And it says, and in one hope of your calling. So we have the same hope that we're all going to lead to that same goal, as the title ensues. You got it, brother.
I got two quick ones to back you up what you said on how basically there's one path.
Mm-hmm.
John chapter 10, verse 1, and this in red. It says, Verily, verily, which means truly, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. So there's a specific way that you were supposed to go about this ministry. You can't do, for lack of better terms, you can't do your own thing and create your own game plan. All right, the Lord already has it laid out, and he has given it onto us from the apostles and elders on down of Great Millstone. All right, now you don't need to be a part of Great Millstone, but you need to follow the doctrine. You need to, conduct yourself in a like manner, as you see the apostles and elders do, because they're on the right path, and that's very evident. All right, Matthew 7 and 13 to 14. This is also in red, like the last precept was, and it says, "Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it." So it's a very narrow path that we're on, and this is the path to life. All right, and it's very easy. What the scriptures talk about, how basically there was fire on one side and water on the other, and then it's so narrow to where only one man can go at a time. So we're walking on eggshells. It basically, goes to show that you really got to make sure you're on your P's and Q's. You got to make sure you're doing, you don't forget the fundamentals. Don't get so carried away with, the breakdowns and, certain more in-depth or deeper, topics, to where you're forgetting on how to be charitable, or you're forgetting on how to have faith, or how to be a good brother to the like-minded men. You got to make sure that your fundamentals are strong and tight, because that's your base. That's where the support lies.
Yep.
That was on that.
I got this in 1 Corinthians 1 and verse 10. "Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, that ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment." So we got to have the same mind when coming to this truth, man. Then there is no, unity camps with these other Israelite groups, man. You can't have GMS going and then IUIC, we're making a unity camp. Because if you have a unity camp, say GMS and IUIC, somebody comes up talking about the Charagma. First off, IUIC ain't gonna know what the Charagma is. Well, they may know, but they ain't gonna go deep into, and they ain't gonna go into the Greek, man. And then you're gonna have IUIC saying the MOTB is this, and you have GMS saying no, it's this, and then there's confusion, man. There ain't supposed to be confusion when concerning this ministry, concerning this truth, man. One body, one mind, and one goal. We supposed to all have the same goal, man. So like it says in Amos 3 and 3, I believe, can 2 and 2 walk together? At least they be agreed. We gotta be agreed, man. We gotta walk the same way, man. And if not, then it's gonna be made manifest, and you're gonna be revealed. Speaking to myself first and foremost, man. We gotta have that same mind when coming to this, man. You got it.
This is Romans chapter 12, and I'm gonna start at 1 down to 4. It said, and the headline says, "Dedicated service." It says, "I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service," which is what every single one of us is supposed to do. "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God had dealt to every man the measure of faith." Like the brother was going into abstaining from, prideful thoughts and looks. Don't carry yourself, in a proud manner. It says, "For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office." And I got a quick one to back that one up. Ephesians 4 and 11 to 12. "And he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers, for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Yahushua HaMashiach." So everybody has their own lot, their own office. Now the scriptures talk about, you definitely covet a spiritual gift, in a sense of, not like, fucking demonic ass manner, but you see something that a certain man may be able to do. Maybe he's into the Hebrew or the Greek or history, or maybe he's more charitable, and you desire to be more like that. That's not a bad thing, right? But ultimately, you need to figure out what you're good at and focus on that. What you're good at shooting 3-pointers, then do that. Try to perfect that. Now you want to be well-rounded, but everybody has their own office. Everybody has their own gift. And ultimately, when you focus on your gift and focus on what you're good at and what you bring to the table, and you execute it to the best of your ability, you're helping the body move forward. All right, which actually, well, if you got some, you can go ahead. I'm gonna get this other one after you're done.
And I got this in 1 Corinthians 12 and 12. And I was going, you can break it down, brother, and you can stop me when you want to as I'm reading it. Because I'm going to go from 12 to, 12 to about 21. So 1 Corinthians 12 and verse 12. The human body has, it's like I'm going to get in the NLT as well. 1 Corinthians 12 and 12 in the NLT. The human body has many parts, but the many parts make up one whole body. So it is with the body of Hamashiach. Some of us are Jews, some are Gentiles, some are slaves, and some are free. But we have all been baptized into one body by one Spirit.
And that shows that, Salaki, that shows that every man comes from a different walk of life. Because ultimately, today, we're all Gentiles. None of us are of the circumcision. We weren't raised, up in the truth. Well, except, Elder High Priest Ariyah. But for the most part, we were all in a Gentile state of mind. Right. But yet, we all came from different aspects of life. And some, we came from different areas, might have came from different ethnic backgrounds, we came out of different religions, mindsets, just as a whole. But we're all coming together. And by all, I mean all the Israelites that wake up to this truth, we're all coming together for, the purpose of serving Yahweh B'Shem Shai.
Mm-hmm. It says, but we have all been baptized into one body by one Spirit, and we all share the same Spirit. Yes, the body has many different parts, not just one part. If the foot says, I am not a part of the body because I am not a hand, that does not make it any less a part of the body. And if the ear says, I am not part of the body because I am not an eye, what would that make it any less a part of the body? If the whole body were an eye, how would you hear? Or if your whole body were an ear, how would you smell anything? But our bodies have many parts, and the Most High has put each part just where He wants it. How strange a body would be, Sluggy. How strange. Okay, I lost my place. Okay, verse 19. How strange a body would be if it had only one part. Yes, there are many parts, but only one body. The eye can never say to the hand, I don't need you. The head can't say to the feet, I don't need you. I get verse 22 as well. In fact, some parts of the body that seem weakest and least important are actually the most necessary. And the parts we regard as less honorable are those we clothe with the greatest care. So we carefully protect those parts that should not be seen, while the more honorable parts do not require this special care. So the Most High has put the body together such that extra honor and care are given to those parts that have less dignity. Verse 25, this makes for harmony among the members, so that all the members care for each other. And it keeps going, but I'll stop right there. And so just showing you, man, that each member, each body part has its own member. It has its own function. The eye plays a great role. Your pinky toe plays a great role, man. So each body and it's being likened unto us. We each have our own role, our own function that we can provide within the body, within our camp, within our position that we may play in this truth, man. You may have one brother that is has perfected, not perfected, but he gets real down into the history. Another brother may get down into the Hebrew, and then you may say, and then that brother that is going into the history, he may do history classes to build up another brother that may not be so deep into the history, and then you help one another, man. That's what it's about, man. Helping one another and being joined together greatly and perfectly as our own body is the Most High made.
I got this quick one to back up what you just said. Proverbs 27:17. I'll get in the NLT. It says, "As iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend."
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I mean, that's also important. Shows how important it is to be around like-minded men. That's why the scriptures tell you you really have no business being around people in the world, because you're not getting sharpened from somebody in the world, and you're not sharpening somebody in the world.
Right.
This only works, this scripture only applies to those that are in the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like how it talks about in Sirach, you don't want to seek counsel from, people that have nothing to do with the topic. So like you don't go to somebody that is never served in the military and ask them about military service. You don't go to somebody, that does plumbing and ask them about electric work. So if you want to actually be sharpened up and you actually care about this thing, you should be fellowshipping. Which really you should want to do that anyways. Because I mean, why would you want to just be alone all the time? I don't want to be fucking alone all the time.
Right.
That's some bullshit. Because even back in the scriptures, Elijah, he was frightened because he was thinking he was the only man serving the Lord, and the Lord told him there's 7,000 that haven't bowed their knee to Baal.
Mm-hmm.
So Elijah felt alone in that time, but he was comforted by the fact that he wasn't. So here we are. You may be blessed in a big camp, small camp, whatever, but you're able to contact other men with the same mindset. So don't abuse that. Don't misuse that. It's a resource. Tap into it. Don't just let it sit there. It's been 4 weeks since you hung out with a brother. What the hell are you doing? Who are you hanging out with? What does your 24-hour day consist of? Now we're not saying you got to be on a brother's back, but there's a time and a place for everything. There's definitely times where it's very evident that now is the time to kick it with brothers, especially after camp. If you can, if you ain't got work and you ain't got shit going on, get with the brothers, eat, chop it up in the spirit, get built up, man. And sometimes it's not even for you. Sometimes the Lord has you in a certain fellowship or a certain conversation, so you can build up a man that's weaker in that area.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be mindful of these things. It's not just about you. Matter of fact, it should really never be about you. Now, of course, you work out your own salvation, and you have your own things that you got to tend to. But this is a sacrifice. You're supposed to be sacrificing daily.
That's it. I just want to get this quick one real quick. As he was going into, this is Hebrews 13 verse 1, and it reads, it's simple. Hebrews 13:1, let brotherly love continue. So we got to continue to be brotherly, man, because we're the body. We're one body, man, and that means that we can't just neglect each other. We can't because we're all looking to the same goal. We all want to be saved, man. So we gotta build each other up, like the brother brought out in that proverb, sharpening each other, because that's gonna do with letting brotherly love continue, being brotherly to your brother, giving alms, so on and so forth, man. This is what we've been called to do. We just didn't be called just to teach, man. It's more than that. It's teaching, but we gotta. There's other things that we gotta do, man. We can't just focus all on teaching. There's other things like building up the brothers, being around the brothers, reading, studying, and so on and so forth, man. It's bigger. This is life, man. We're bringing back our lineage. We're bringing back the nation back together, man. You got it.
Hold on 1 second. Trying to see what this says on the. Yeah. All right. Ecclesiastes 4. I'm gonna start at 9 down to 12. It says, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow, But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. I'm going to get that 12th verse in the NLT. Ecclesiastes 4 and 12 in the NLT, it says, a person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but two can stand back to back and conquer. Three are even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken. So now if you're in a situation where you're teaching alone, then that's absolutely understandable. But if you have the ability to get in contact with brothers and to be with brothers, then you should definitely pursue that. Because the scriptures even do say, advocates for, brotherhood. Because Yahushua said, where two or three are gathered, there I am in the midst of them. So you should never, shy away from fellowshipping with brothers. Especially because even here in Great Millstone, if you might go to a different city for business or whatever, the case may be, maybe you're going, to see a family member or something, might be sick or whatever the hell, you got going on, you go to that city, and especially if it's the weekend, first of all, you got to go to camp. That's without question. But, if you go, like, for example, if I had to go to Memphis for something, best believe I'm going to tap in with the brothers in Memphis.
Yeah.
So when you have these certain resources at your disposal, utilize them. All right. And like the brother said, it's more than just teaching. I've learned many things that have greatly impacted my spiritual journey, and it wasn't a lesson. It wasn't a chapter in the Bible. It was a late night talk with 2, 3, 4 brothers. And that's really that's how amazing this truth is. You're always learning. Even you might go to brothers might be cooking hot dogs and hamburgers, and you're listening to rap music, and then all of a sudden the music gets cut down, and Jake talking in the spirit. You want to be there for those moments. But if you're thinking it's just a bunch of people eating chicken and drinking and that's it, and that's all you look at it, so I'm not going to pull up because it's just folly, you're out of your damn mind. That's not what that is. You're not walking in the spirit.
Right.
But that was it. I ain't going to go on no damn rant about that.
Yeah, I did want to, add on to what you said and what I said earlier about, it's not all about teaching, because if it was all about teaching, man, there'd be men that wouldn't be bugged out. Men who is able to articulate their points, speak very well, sway the crowd. There's men in this thing, man, in the scriptures, that is able to speak well, move the crowd. But when it comes to being brotherly and so on and so forth, man, they don't know how to be brotherly, and they're bugged out, man. So if it was all about teaching, there'd be men that is not bugged out, is how I wanted to say it.
All right. It's not about being charismatic.
Right. Yeah.
Which because another thing that proves that ain't all about teaching. What about when the famine of word comes?
Right.
Your job's just done, or do you need to continue to be a brother and lead or follow and support one another in that time? If you can't help a brother out now when he got a flat tire, you damn sure ain't gonna help him in that day.
Right.
You're in the face of death, and you're gonna jump. You expect me to believe that you're going to save me from death and from martial law or something, but you won't come pick me up from the bus station. How the fuck? What sense does that make? And that's what I try to keep in my mind, because like, how the hell can you say you'll die for the Lord or sacrifice for brothers and all this, but you won't send a brother $5 for gas when he asks for it, and you got it. Now, if you ain't got it, that's different. Because sometimes you really don't have it. You ain't got what a brother's asking for, and somebody else, got to step up and be charitable. All right, but that's another thing that is great about the brotherhood: the help, the support. Because you think, because you, especially coming out of the world, you think I got it all on my own and I can take care of myself. That's really a prideful mentality. Because there's going to be many times in this truth where, and I've only been in for a short period of time, but I've learned that there's going to be many times where, guess what, you ain't got it. and you need first, especially counsel. You need a lot of counsel. I don't care how long you've been in this truth. You need counsel from men that are above you. Seek counsel. Sometimes you need a brother to help you out with funds, or you need a brother to sacrifice his time to come pick you up, or come help you change a tire or whatever the hell it may be. But you need the brotherhood. And if you don't accept that, and you want to continue to have this haughty mindset of I got it all on my own, the Lord is going to humble you down. He might put you in a terrible situation where you ain't got no choice but to call the brothers. So avoid that altogether. Now, of course, you don't ask your brother to, scrub your back. Okay, but there's going to be times where you need the brotherhood. So I'm going to grab this real quick. Philippians 3:14-15. And this goes into really how we all have one goal. All right, so this is verse 14. It says, I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Yahushua HaMashiach. Let us therefore, as many as be perfect, be thus minded. And if in anything ye be otherwise minded, God shall reveal even this unto you. So this is what we're looking for. We're looking to receive salvation. That's what we're all fighting. That's what you should be fighting for.
Right.
Because ultimately, if you're in this truth for an alternative reason, maybe you want women, which we always say that here. We don't know why the hell Jake think he's going to get hella women in this truth.
Right.
You lose a lot of the things that Jake is trying to get when he comes into the truth for a wrong reason. He would have been better off doing that in the world, because you're not going to get that here, bro. You're not going to get hella money in this truth. You're not going to get women. You're not going to get fame and recognition. Okay. So if you want those things, you might as well just start a rap career or some shit, man. We're here. We're here to make our name blotted out in the earth, because we go from being a niggard in the world, being proud, to now we're in this truth, and we realize that we're nobody.
Right.
How about Shemal Shai? We don't have shit. So it's all, and the Lord said the meek shall inherit the earth. So you got to be humble, and you got to be striving for perfection, but you're striving for a goal that you're never going to achieve on this side. And that's what helps keep you in a broken and contrite spirit. That's what makes you always look up to the heavens and beg the Lord to send his son back. Because ultimately, you know that you're always going to fall short, because you're in chains of darkness. You're in this flesh. You're fighting a battle you can't win without help, without brotherhood, without your big brother, Yahushua. But that was it.
I got one more.
Okay.
1 Corinthians 9:25. It says, well, I started verse 24. Going into that, we all running the same race, man. It's not like this brother's running a different race than me. Now the way that he gets to the end of the goal may be different than mine, but we're all going to the same destination. I may be going straight, then I may have some obstacle at 20 meters, and then this brother may have an obstacle at 50 meters. But we're all going to that same checkered flag, man. And it says 1 Corinthians 9:25. Know ye not that they which run in the race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it for a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. We're all chasing the incorruptible crown, man. That is going to be given to us by Yahweh. We want immortality. We want everlasting life, everlasting rest, peace, man, tranquility, rest. That's what we're all striving for, that one goal, man. Like the brother said, if that's not what you're looking for, then what are you doing here? Well, kick rocks, man. And ultimately, if that is what you're looking for, then it's going to be made manifest, and the Lord is going to boot you himself, man. And he's going to put on his men to be like, to notice these type of things, man. Because you can't hide the shit like that forever. What is the ulterior motives? You can't hide that shit forever. It's going to be revealed, man, within time. You got three brothers running to this goal, then you got this one brother that's trying to go to a different goal. No, man, it's gonna be made manifest. We're running, then like, damn, where's the other brother at? He's just walking. He went another route. There's only one path to the kingdom, man. And then through the Spirit, we know this. We know that there's one path. There's no going any other way, man, so that we can obtain that incorruptible crown. That's all I have.
I got one more. Philippians 2 and verse 2 to 3. I'm going to get in the NLT, which is a New Living translation. We use the KJV, but every so often we go to other translations just because it helps. I guess you could say put the words simpler, in layman's terms, or it may word it a little differently that just makes it easier to be understood.
Mm-hmm.
So Philippians 2 and 2 to 3. It says, then make me truly happy by agreeing wholeheartedly with each other, loving one another, and working together with one mind and purpose. Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. Which the headline for this says, be like Hamashiach. Be like Yahushua. And that's ultimately what we're trying to do. And like, the brother brought out in 1 Corinthians, everybody has their different role. They're a different part of the body, but they're all necessary for success. All right. I don't give a goddamn what Esau says. You only need one kidney to live. Fuck him. If you only needed one kidney, you would have one kidney. Right. You got both for a reason. I guarantee you there's complications that come with having one kidney. Or not having, a certain body part. Well, we can remove that because it really doesn't do anything. Bullshit. I'm not going to trust. Why the fuck would I trust that man with my life when he's taking millions upon millions, hundreds of millions, maybe even billions over time, over the course of history of the Israelites' lives? No, every part of the body is important, man. Even the smallest bone, when you break it, that shit gonna hurt like hell.
Yep.
Was that all you had?
Yeah, I was just gonna say you take your big toe off, man. That shit gonna feel weird as hell. You can be like, you may not, like, when you're walking throughout the day, I don't think about my big toe and its function that it has, but I know it. But when you really think about it, it's playing a major role to help you, walk. Because if you don't have your big toe, you're gonna be walking funny as hell, man.
Now, you might not be able to walk.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, your shit might be fucked.
Yeah, right. Because but that's all I had.
Okay. Well, Lord willing, I don't have nothing coming to my mind. Lord willing, that this lesson was edifying. Before we close, we're going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles, elders, great millstone, and Shalom.